All right. Welcome to Bring the Juice. We are on an away game today in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm your host, Frank Dalena.
First we gonna rock, then we gonna fold, then we let it pop, don't let it go.
A lot of energy, a lot of good vibes. I got Dominique Dafney with me. Dominique, say what's up to Bring the Juice Nation. We're here, brother.
Bring the juice. What's good, baby?
Fucking love it. Fires me up. Let's just dive right into it. You know, we were talking before the pod, kind of your journey, and it led to, you know, getting to walk on at Iowa. Start with that. How did you know Iowa's going to be the move when you were in the position to make a move for what college D1 you were going to go to?
Well, for anybody out there that's ever been to a JUCO, I think they'll understand when I say I was simply just trying to get up out of there. Like,
JUCO life's different.
It is grimy.
Yeah.
And everything about it is, you know, the facilities, dorm rooms, like the way, like the little rules behind it, like how you can only have so many out-of-state players be on the rock. Like, there's just so much about it. It's just grimy. Everyone's trying to get to that next level, coaches included, and it's just like, and we were in like Council Bluffs, Iowa, good old Council Tucky, which is in the middle of nowhere.
Damn.
So it's like 2 hours from Des Moines and about 45 minutes from Nebraska.
Yeah.
So it's like in the middle of nothing. So, I mean, went through one full year there, just
grimy.
Just the whole time, and I just didn't really enjoy it. I enjoyed some of the guys that I met, and, you know, like, there's some dudes, like, till this day, like, I talk to, and so the connections there, they were great, but it was just the whole atmosphere. I'm like, this is not for me. So when I had Iowa come and tell me, like, I could come walk on, I'm like, yeah, we're doing that. I told my parents, I'm like, I'm out of here.
Sign. Yeah.
I'm not coming back next year. That's not happening. So, I mean, that was really where that happened. And, of course, you know, like, growing up, playing for either Iowa State, being from Iowa, like, it's a big deal, you know, getting that chance to play in the Cy-Hawk game. Obviously, like, everybody dreams of that, you know. Little kid being either on the hill at Jack Trice or going to Iowa City and watching the games. Like, you dream of playing those games because it means a lot. And, you know, we literally have it Iowa State week at school. You know, you either come to school in your Iowa State stuff or you come to school in your Iowa stuff. And it's
That's
like,
awesome.
So it's like you're from young, like, that's kind of nurtured in your brain. It's Iowa versus Iowa State, baby. Like, that's the big time.
Well, let's twirl it back a little bit. Your JUCO grimy days. I've heard stories JUCO in Cali, JUCO in Mississippi. What was your grimiest moment in JUCO, you'd say, or aspect?
Grimiest moment. I remember the day where I knew I wasn't coming back because it was like it would be 4 a.m., 4:30 workouts in the winter. And it's cold, it's snowy. We got to be there at 4:30, so we're waking up at 4 o'clock. And you're already tired, whatever. I got class after that. I don't remember what happened in the class, but I, like, wasn't too happy about it. And then I go to the calf, just get me a little chicken sandwich.
Something slight.
I tried to be, you know, maybe I'll put lettuce and tomato on it, make myself a little happier, you know, like, spruce it up. I took one bite into it, and there was mold on the lettuce.
You could taste it?
Yes.
Oh! It's one thing to see it.
And I literally bit into it, and I was like, and I looked at it, and I put the sandwich down, grabbed my bag, and went straight to my room. I'm like,
shit.
I'm done with this. Like, this is not it. I don't want to be here. That was the moment I'm like, I'm not coming back here. I don't care. It was just like one of those days where everything was going wrong, and then I bit into moldy lettuce. I was like, yeah.
That it?
We're going somewhere else next year. I do not care where it is, but we're going somewhere else. But I feel like on top of that, it's just, you know, usually you go to other schools and, like, they have, like, workouts for you. Like,
right.
My own roommates, like, we would just go work out, like, with, like, regular students. Like, we just go to the gym and get a lift in. It's like, that's not normal. Like, at other schools, they tell you not to do that type of stuff because they don't want you to get hurt or whatever. But, I mean, there you kind of had to. Like, you kind of had to put in your extra hours and do things, you know, in the dark, behind closed doors, get your catches in, whatever. And there was just kind of a lot of that where we had to, like, find our own way to get things done. Especially because, I mean, you don't have the big facilities. I mean, you go to Iowa Western now, like it's crazy. It's really 10 times different. It's so much better. But back then, it's like we practiced at a high school, and we either practiced on a high school or like in this big grassy area. It wasn't even a field. It was just, they would have like cross country meets out there.
I was saying big ass park type thing.
So it was like you had to get it, like that's what they call it, getting out the mud. That's like that's what you had to do, or else you weren't gonna make it.
Yeah.
So it was just like that whole experience was just like, I feel like that's where I gained my work ethic, is because simply working that hard, because I don't want to be here anymore.
Beating out of the mud. Literally.
I'm working as hard as I can so I don't have to be here next year. That was as simple as it was.
So you walk on to Iowa. I walked on at Fresno State. What is the walk-on mindset? I have my experience. What was your experience? Did you obviously your first day, you're just happy to be there.
Yeah.
Hey, playing D1, baby. I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here. And Fresno was my equivalent to your Iowa. Like, it was always Fresno for me. I grew up there. I wanted to play there. It was the move.
Yeah.
And so the fact that you got to choose or you got the opportunity to play at one of the Iowa schools, Iowa, what was the approach once you were there and got past that, the Nike Christmas stage?
Yeah. The approach when I got there was essentially just,
Stay.
work. Yeah. Just work. And, I redshirted when I first got there because I played my freshman year at Iowa Western. So I redshirted my technically sophomore year.
Season, right.
And it was essentially just, work in the weight room, work on the field, kind of, get my footing, because obviously Big Ten education, JUCO education, so different. I actually had to start over, essentially, college.
Really?
Because a lot of those credits didn't transfer over.
That's a shitty thing.
Man,
I'd be pissed.
I was so mad. I essentially had to start college over. And so, I'm over here trying to get my footing as far as, school. And then my coach was just like, dude, don't even, you're redshirting. Don't even worry about the playbook. It doesn't even matter. Because back then, it was you get one snap. It's over with. That's a year. It wasn't like a...
Because it was at 4 years ago.
Yeah, it wasn't the 4 games now. It was back then you get one snap. That's a year.
I was the same one.
It was a year. So he's like, bro, don't even worry about it.
You're redshirting.
You're redshirting, so it really doesn't matter.
Be on scout team.
Be on the scout team, yeah. Be on the scout team, make it hard for the defense. Work over there. You get a chance, to make a play over there, make a play. And it's work on your skills when you're over there.
Right.
And
you're going against the ones.
you're going against the ones all day.
Yep.
That's the best.
Iron sharpens iron.
Those Iowa defenses were crazy. You look at those, you go down that depth chart, they're all in the league.
Yeah.
Except maybe 3 of them. Those defenses, going against them was so crazy. And it's just he was yeah, just take that as, playing in the games. Sure. Those are your games. You're running their offense, and you're just essentially over there trying to get better. So that whole year was just, it was a great year.
Yeah.
As far as
redshirting's not the worst thing in the world.
Redshirting is not bad. I mean,
I got a little brother at Fresno State redshirting.
It's not bad. You get to work on your game. Right. You get to get stronger, faster, all that stuff. You get to grow.
Kind of learn, grow.
You get to learn the playbook. You get to learn how to watch film.
You learn how to be a pro, because college, you are a pro. You're just in college.
I mean, technically nowadays,
that's what I'm saying.
Literally
especially,
are. You are getting a little bit of a bag.
Making
Back then, we were scraping. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, it was just that extra year to just grow into my body, grow football wise. Boy, Country Mac. Grow football wise, and just try to take that extra step and being like you said, being a pro, being a Big Ten football player.
It's a different vibe. It's different than JUCO.
It's definitely better to have that year and then come in ready,
right?
Versus thrown in there and then kind of have to.
You're drowning and you're trying to find air almost.
No one likes that feeling. If you there's not many people who come out and do that out the gate. Obviously some dudes do.
It made me realize when there's a true freshman playing, that dude is raw. Different level type shit.
He was at prom a couple months ago.
Some of them missed prom.
He went to prom a couple months ago.
Different dedication.
This dude that you're going up against, he shaves every day. He's got a job waiting on him. In a couple months, and you just were at prom.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot of the dudes who come out the gate and are like, pause. A lot of the dudes who come out of the gate ready to play, like those dudes are
Built different.
extremely good.
Yeah.
Like they're crazy.
I mean,
because a lot of dudes aren't ready for
your
that.
first day. I don't know if you had this, but like my first day, like everyone has that dude that's a grown ass man.
Yeah.
You're like, holy shit, man.
Josie Jewell,
There you go.
the outlaw.
There you go.
Josie Jewell, All-American, yeah.
But you're like, that guy's him.
Yeah.
He's faster and better than I am. Big
Dude
as
was,
shit,
I
kid.
had him, Josie Jewell, Jaleel Johnson, Desmond King, Greg Maven, like all these.
Different levels.
The defense was, when I'm telling you that defense was crazy, it was crazy. I could keep going because that defense was stacked.
So you were a receiver still at this point, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then you don't finish at Iowa, right? You end up at Indiana State. Is that correct?
Yeah.
What made you make that move?
Essentially was at Iowa 2016 or 15, 16. So I was there 16, 17, redshirted. 17, 18 was playing just not scout team, but special teams.
Yep.
18, 19, same thing. And there was just a lot of stuff that happened there on my part, and I feel like from the coaching staff, where I was just like, I don't think I could grow anymore here.
Yeah, I'm tapped out.
So it's like I could go play anywhere and just play special teams, and there's just some times where I just wasn't enjoying it, like football wise. You know, some of the boys sitting in the locker room, and you're just like, bro, is this worth it? Because I'm not only am I not enjoying this, I'm not playing offense, I'm also paying to be here.
Yeah.
So it gets to that point where I'm like, I really don't know if it's worth it, to be honest. Like looking at the pros and cons, and had to talk with my parents about stuff. I was getting ready to graduate in spring of 19, and I still had that 1 year. So talked to my dad, and he was like, yeah, you don't want to leave that year on the table. Like he was like, I promise you don't.
Smart.
So I'm like, no, you're right, absolutely. So like I just got to, just doing a little bit of research, and I saw one of my old friends back in Iowa, Ryan Boyle. He posted something about it was like a highlight at Indiana State, and I was like, oh yeah, Ryan goes to Indiana State. He had gone to Iowa. We played against each other in high school. I saw he posted about Indiana State, and I was like, it'd be cool to play with him. Like he's a dog. Like he's my size, got a cannon. I'm like,
let's do it.
That would be pretty cool. So I was like, I texted him. I'm like, what do you think about me coming to Indiana State? He's like, are you serious? I'm like, I mean, yeah, I'd think about it. He's like, all right. And he got me in touch with the coaches, and I went on a visit there. And I mean, what really brought me along was the receiver coach, Coach Hastings. Like he was a dude who played in the league. He played for the 49ers back when Cap was there. And so he kind of understood the whole thing. So talking to him and everything is what really made me want to go there, on top of having an old friend being the starting quarterback. And I'm like, yeah, I'm in. Like, let's go. So that was kind of how I got over there. And they had set it up for me to start grad school and everything. So it was an easy transition. And they were like, yeah, dude,
nice.
Let's go. So I was like, all right, bet. We're doing it.
So that season ends, and you're approaching NFL dreams at this point. And you're still a receiver, right, at this point?
Yeah.
So at what point did you have to make that transition to tight end / fullback? Was there a day?
There wasn't a day, but I feel like just me and him, again, Coach Hastings, having a conversation about, you're not blazing 4.4, you're on like a low to mid 4.5, and you're big. Like I was like 235 at the time. So he was like, honestly, you'd be perfect for that hybrid position that's kind of being more popularized, more used in the NFL, and of course that year, I played Wildcat quarterback too. So,
oh, wow. Athlete.
So it was like, dude, you could do a lot of things. So the fact that you can block, you can play special teams, you can run the ball, exactly. So I'm like, that was kind of when hearing him talk about it, I'm like, no, that makes perfect sense. And
can you pass?
Of course.
And he can pass.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. We got.
You got some film?
Oh yeah, it's out there.
Was it? Because I had a buddy, so I played with at State, and he went from wide receiver to tight end. Is it like? You could answer this however you want, but like, is there kind of like a sense of you where you feel like identity's shifted a certain way? Because when you're a wideout, that's your identity. You're a wideout, and now you're like, I'm in the tight end room now. Was there ever like that kind of moment, or was it always like, hey man, whatever pays the bills, who gives a shit at this point?
I mean, it was essentially just whatever. Like, I want to play.
Yeah.
So I mean, I really don't care.
Yeah.
Whatever you need me to be, but I mean, there was definitely a learning curve when it came to that because there's a lot of those boys have played tight end since high school, and me, I'll never forget this. Like my first workout with the Colts, the coach, we get done warming up, and the coach goes, "All right, so we got a 9 tech. We want you to reach him. We're running an outside zone." And I looked at him. I'm like, what does that mean? I'm like 9 techs, like learning defense. Like I had no idea.
3-yard slant. Like, what do you need?
I'm like, what? I have no idea what you're talking about. So I looked at him. I was like, so you want me to block that way? He goes, yeah. I was like, cool. That's all you had to say. That's all you had to say. All the 6 tech outside zone. I'm like, I have no idea. I literally looked at him like,
damn.
Never heard of any of that terminology in my life. Obviously, I know outside zone, but 9 tech, reaching them and all this stuff. I'm like, I don't know what any of that means. I'm like, dang, this is gonna be a little different. And then, of course, being able to, I think the biggest reason I'm still sitting here is being with the Green Bay Packers that year because my coach, I literally came up to him. I was like, dude, I don't know this stuff. Yeah. All I had to do was watch the roof, safeties, corners. That was about it. So I'm like, as far as like how defenses and linebackers shift and all, I'm like, dude, I don't know what a 3 tech is. I don't know 9, 6. I'm like, I have no idea. A 43 front, I'm like, dude, you're speaking Spanish. I have no idea what that means.
Is it a cat call or like?
I'm like, I have no idea what that means, any of that. So like, I came up to him just kind of vulnerable, just like, how do you watch film as a tight end?
Right. And he took you in.
He took me in,
That's
and
huge.
then had vets like Rob Tunyon and Mercedes Lewis, and of course Aaron Rodgers. I asked him as many questions as possible. And I feel like because of the stuff that I learned there and how to watch film and how to read defenses, not just, read coverages, but read a defensive end, not only like where he is, but his body language. And read that and be able to tell what he's going to do before he even does it to try to get an advantage. Because I know where I'm supposed to go. He's just rushing a gap. But we actually have a play. So that year definitely helped. But the learning curve at first, I was just like, because a tight end, you have to know everything.
Well, I mean, you're saying a tight end. Like, I can only imagine you play wide receiver your whole life?
Yeah.
Play wide receiver your whole life, college included, and then all of a sudden you're on the biggest stage of this sport. Oh, hey, we want you to learn a new position. And it's not like you're going from X to Z.
Yeah.
Or you're now going from slot to outside. Like, this is a whole different ball game.
Putting your hand in the dirt. Is
right.
A very
Did
different.
you, what kind of tight end do you want to be? Do you want to be like a bruiser? Do you want to be more of like Kittle, I feel like, has kind of become like the ultimate hybrid in the NBA. But
I mean, when I look out into the history of tight ends, I kind of compare myself a lot to like the Shannon Sharps of the world. Where like he's just country strong, can run routes, but also he, like, if you need him to block, he's gonna do it for you. But like you can put it, like, he's one of those people you don't have to like worry about. Yeah. You see 8-2 out there, you're like,
he's good.
He's straight.
His assignment's done.
Yeah, he'll be all right. Like, that's how I wanted to. Like,
so
that was my thing.
Was there a guy? Has there been a guy in the league that's kind of helped you develop as a pro, for the most part?
Like I said, I'd say that first tight end room. Like, really? I asked Big Dog and Rob a lot of questions. Yeah. Like, Rob is the reason I came out here and started training. Because,
to Nashville?
Yeah. After my rookie season, I mean, usually when you're in college, like, you have spring ball and you have winter conditioning. Like, when you get to the off season in the NFL, they're just like, don't get hurt.
Yeah.
See ya. Like, you get the big black trash bag, you grab your stuff, and they're like, all right, have fun, see you in April. Like you do it at like some dudes don't work out, some dudes start working out. So I was like, I literally sat there at my house, so hurt watching the Buccaneers win the championship, and I was just like, what am I supposed to be doing?
Right.
I have no idea. Like I'm sitting in Iowa, it's snowing, and I'm like, so I hit him, and he was like, I got you, bro. Just come out to Nashville, train with us. We got chefs, we got masseuses, we got PTs, we run routes, we lift. And he's like, and you'll be around all of us. He's like, yeah, just come out here and you'll be straight. And I was like,
Done.
cool.
Easy.
All you had to say. So like, and since 21, like I've been coming out here every summer and just whenever I feel like I need to train and like get locked in, like this is where I come because I know I'm going to get not only the best like body wise, like I'm going to be around guys that can push me as well.
Yeah. And I mean, you kind of heard the end, like Jay Holt was on here and he was just saying how like the tight end position and this tight end youth thing's become really unique.
Yeah.
It is iron sharpens iron. It is guys who, it's not a pissing contest. That's just, obviously you want to be the best.
Of course.
But that's human nature, especially with the level of competitors in this wheelhouse of human being. But to be able to have that, moment, conference, day, camp, whatever you want to call it, of tight end U, where the best of their field all get together and master their craft, picking each other's brains. Not just each other who's in the league, like dudes who have been out of the league that are legends, like you said, they're coming out to support a position. You don't see that very often. So it's, I mean, you heard Jay Holt's version. Like, what's your experience with tight end U?
I mean, it's essentially like at this point, like I don't want to call it a frat, but it is like a brotherhood type where.
Well, that's fucking sick.
I mean, getting to rub shoulders with some of those guys, like obviously knowing George and TJ in college, it made it easier to reach out to them. But like, you don't run into Greg Olson every day. You don't run into Darren Waller every day. So like, getting a full weekend to just not only ask those guys about football, but about like the extra stuff. Like that's where I take a lot of it as well, because there is a lot of stuff that is behind the scenes as far as just like being on the field, like taking care of your body, your mind, your bread, like taking care of your house, like getting the chance to ask those guys who maybe don't have it all together, but they're closer than the rest of us. Like getting to ask them like where they got started, what some of their pitfalls were when they were younger, and some things they would have rather gone around and had to withstand, just the opportunity to pick their brains, and whether it's about running routes, whether it's about investing, whether it's about, how should I take care of my body on Monday after a game versus Tuesday? How many times are you doing like massages, hot cold tub? Like there's just so much stuff that we go over past football. So it's just like, it's one of those things where, I mean, it's weird because you don't see that in football. It's usually like,
You don't see that in any field.
you know what I mean? Like
You don't see the best CEOs in the world all getting together.
no,
and talking
because
about how
usually
they can all make more
it's
money.
me versus you.
It's competition.
Like we,
Exactly.
I don't
I don't
wanna,
think there could be. I don't think there could be a wide receiver U. I don't think there
it'd
could
be tough.
I think there's too many like. I think there's too many egos, too many chefs in the kitchen type thing. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know who would run it.
I don't know though. That would be the
run
part. Who would run it? Because
Right now in the league, because
I mean, you could name 3 of the best receivers, but would they be the ones to run it?
and can they structure it and bring people together and make
That's what
it
I'm
to where it's
saying.
an experience? Like, who would it be right now? Probably let's call it Tyreek is in there.
Okay. Tyreek,
He's got a personality who would run it. Say who else?
JJ,
JJ would run
and
it.
probably AJ Brown.
I
Those
just
are a
feel like they
lot
wouldn't-
of.
I feel like they wouldn't come together and like run a great weekend camp necessarily though.
I mean, that's why it's kind of unique in itself because
I feel like JJ would go in and be like, Jamar would be like, hey, why aren't we doing this? Why am I not in charge of this?
yeah.
And then Cooper Kupp comes in and it's like,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, where does it stop?
I don't know.
Who's in charge? That's the tough part with that. And it's just like, that's what's so like unique about it is there's a vulnerability that we're all just
Right.
learning this weekend.
Jay Holt also said that I think there is a little bit of the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow where the tight end position is becoming more and more valuable.
Yeah.
And if they can make it to where guys are getting bigger contracts, everyone's going to ultimately eat off that. And he said, the top teams in the NFL, they have a good team. They do have a good tight end. They have a solid tight end option, which makes a difference.
Yeah.
So, I know you faced some adversity, and getting to talk to those guys about. I always like talking to athletes, about the business side of things, as far as what are you doing next. What's the best advice you've gotten from some of those older dudes of, hey, when's the right time to start investing your money, looking for ventures outside of football? And I had Jalen Johnson on the pod who's about to get paid, and one thing he's looking for is, it's not necessarily the bag you make right now, it's what you do with that bag as an investment to make it to where you have longevity of income coming in.
I feel like, that one's tough as far as investing, because it's what you're.
Everyone's got different tiers.
Yeah, everyone's got different tiers. You have a personal. Sometimes you have personal ties to some things that I've wanted to invest in this for a long time, or I know about this field better than the next guy. But as far as me, I hate seeing money leave my account, so I save everything. I've been blessed to have parents who, my mom worked for Wells Fargo. She works for the Federal Reserve now. My dad worked for almost 2 decades for a business that they dealt with mortgages and stuff like that. So they give me a lot of the knowledge because they've been on that side for a long time. And then, on the other side, it's just I feel like the best piece of advice that I heard was the thing that you shouldn't ever be stingy with is investing in your body.
Right.
Because, that's what gets you paid at the end of the day. So, getting that extra cryotherapy or getting that extra massage or that chef or needles or whatever you like to do. None of that is too much, because at the end of the day, it's an investment. You're getting it back. When your body's feeling 100%, in November when it's about to get cold, that investment's going to pay off, because now I'm not dealing with, a hamstring pull or a little, your ankle's tender or anything. No, I took care of myself all off season, and I put the money in and I put the time in to make sure my body feels good. So now when it gets to November, December, January, and it gets a little colder when you're up in Buffalo or you're in Green Bay or wherever, then I can withstand those tough games, and it's going to be a ground and pound, especially tight end. So we're gonna your reps are going to go up because we're running the ball, because we can't throw it because it's rainy and cold. So it's but because I took care of myself April to the start of the season, I'm straight. So that's the best investment, and that's probably the best advice I've heard from that tight end U surface. I
know you've dealt with injuries recently and in the past, and I think every athlete has to an extent. If you get to go through college or the NFL and have no injuries,
you're blessed.
You take advantage of it when you're in high school. You used to get off the bus and I don't need to stretch. No. Fuck it, let's go, baby.
Yeah, you're blessed. This is a game where you're 100% chance of getting injured.
100%, some way, shape, or form. But what's your mentality, when you get injured? Because how can I word it? I think people forget a few aspects. Okay, if you F up your hamstring, okay, your hamstring hurts. That sucks. But one thing that the outside doesn't really feel the same way you do is a few things. One, I can't run as fast as I normally can. That's one thing. Am I good enough? Okay, that's one thing. Second thing, though, I think is I've earned to be at a certain spot in my life on a depth chart, on a team, on whatever it might be, because of if you're playing athletics, your athletic ability.
Yeah.
So if I get hurt and there's a depth chart, the guy behind me is now getting my reps. Ultimately, just getting more and more opportunities to take my spot.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. That is a two-sided coin where I've been in the position of both, where I'm the guy, I get hurt, I lose my reps. Maybe your spot's not guaranteed anymore. Also, though, I'm the guy who's behind a guy who gets hurt. I take advantage of it. Now I'm the guy.
Yeah.
Right? And I think everyone's kind of been on both sides. I didn't realize how hard it is until you're sitting on the sideline, earned your way through spring ball, off-season workouts, preseason, whatever the hell it might be, fall camp, all that bullshit, and all of a sudden you're like, it's all out the window because something acted up.
Yeah.
What do you do, mentally? Like what are your dark moments you've had to go through in that sense? Because I don't think it's talked about enough, injuries in sports.
I mean, for me, like I was low-key one of those guys that never got injured.
Really?
Like nothing. Like I hadn't missed a game for injury until I got to the league. So it was just like, at first, it is a lot. Like it's a lot of mental stuff. Like I think that's one thing people don't understand is like when you hurt something, like in your mind, you don't want to run on that. So like not only do you have to get your body back to 100%, you have to get your mind back to, okay, it's not going to hurt when I fully extend. It's not going to hurt when I plant. Yep. You have to like remember that you're healthy, which is sometimes bigger in like, or you see some guys shy away from taking those hits or from cutting off that ankle after they're, it's just because like you're mentally like, I don't want to hurt that again. That hurt. You know, like that, it takes a couple seconds to get injured. It takes weeks, maybe months to get back right. Yeah. So
you could never be the same again.
Some people never come back the same, and that's what a lot of people don't understand is like even like the small hamstring stuff. Like some guys hurt their hamstring kind of consistently, and they're just never the same. So now they don't feel like they can stride out or get to 100%. And there's just, I feel like a lot of it is just you have to build that regimen early on. And like that's what I learned is like when you get injured, first of all, and I will harp on this so much, like do not come back too early.
It's not worth it.
It's not. Yeah. Because, and I like me being, when I was a rookie, I got the college mentality like, bro, I gotta go. Like,
I'm the same.
I gotta keep going. Like, I don't care if it hurts. You know what I mean? Like, we're going. And my coach was like, bro, no. Like, you being injured and like having to essentially force yourself, like that's not how we do it here. You know what I mean? Like that's college where like they respect you more, I'd say, in the NFL as far as like getting hurt, where they want you to get nursed up and get back right because they know like you can't be you if you're hurt. No. Like it doesn't matter how many shots you get, how many pills you take, like
tape it up
until you're 100%, bro. You can't get that proper, like you can't be yourself. So they care more about the fact that you're injured and like you need to get your body back right, and they respect it because I mean this is a job, and they kind of like understand you got to feed your family this way. So like I learned from there, they were like, yeah, no, we'd rather you be healthy than be out here like nursing, like trying to fight through some pain or fight through some, like they're like, dude, take care of yourself. Like it's fine. Trust me. But at the same time,
do you trust them though?
That's what I'm about to say. At the same time, you say that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But then you don't want someone to, like you said, you don't want to be the man and go on the back end, and then the number two's coming up and he's out here. Like I don't want to see that.
Up and comer.
You know what I mean? I don't want to see that. But at the end of the day, like you got to take care of your body.
You got to take care of your body.
You
can't play.
If
you're either hurt or you're injured.
Yeah.
And there is a difference. 100%.
There is a big difference between being hurt and injured. It's just like when you're injured, like take care of that. So that's one thing I learned. And then just that weekly regimen in the league is easy to get into when you're in it. Like Mondays, okay, I get my little pool workout. Tuesdays, I get a massage. Wednesday, I might get this. Thursday, that, whatever. Just kind of having that schedule definitely helps, kind of prolong your career. That's kind of what I've learned and taken from some of those old vets.
It's not easy. It's not easy though dealing with it, like you said, because they say, "Oh, take your time, take your time."
Yeah.
Man, nothing. Between me and my brothers who have been through college football now, it's like, dude, take your time. All right, yeah. You think, hey, I earned this spot.
Yeah.
It took years sometimes to get this spot. It's my time. Guess what? Freshman comes in.
Yeah.
Rookie comes in. Has a nice little preseason game. Maybe has a nice spring ball. Maybe has a nice practice 6 of fall camp. All of a sudden, well, we need to reevaluate. Whoa, what the fuck's this all about, man?
Yeah.
It's shitty. But it leads me back to like, so NFL is obviously a business. Professional sports in general is a business. College football is a business. People didn't realize it until the NIL thing came out as much, but college football is a business.
Yeah.
100%. I think high school football is a business now too, though.
Absolutely.
100%. Dudes are getting them. I'm not saying they're getting paid, but like people are powerhouses for a reason.
Yeah.
Dudes are transferring across the country for shit. It's crazy. I've seen it firsthand. And like there's certain coaches with egos that want to keep it going. There's good, the bad, the ugly, and the uglier.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like that is life. There's always going to be a business out there wanting to poach your best employees.
Yeah.
There's always the grass is always greener on the other side, right? You have a girlfriend now, but there's some hot chick that walked by you, and you're like, oh shit. Not always the fucking case. Mac knows what the fuck I'm talking
I know about that one.
Right? You know what I'm saying? I'm happily married. My wife is hot. I love her.
Yeah.
But I'm saying like there's scenarios where people always want the next best thing.
Oh, yeah.
Even college. I mean, college football, bro. You could be a 5-star. I'm not a 5-star shit. I'm half-star, bro. But guess what? You could be a 5-star recruit to Alabama.
Yeah.
Running back, balling out, freshman All-American, doesn't matter. There's still a motherfucker who they're recruiting to be that's a 5-star running back to come in and take your spot.
Absolutely.
It's just the reality.
Yeah. It's a constant battle. It's a constant doggy paddle to try to stay at the top.
Yeah, you're treading water.
The whole time while you got people trying to either tear you down or something happens. It's just like you're just constantly fighting to stay relevant. You're fighting to be the top dog, and either you're fighting to get there or to stay there. That's essentially what it always is.
I said it with Jay Holt. In this world, you climb mountains, right?
Yeah.
The higher you climb that mountain, the steeper it gets. And one thing that's not talked about enough, there's fucking dudes at the bottom with bow and arrows trying to knock your ass down. There just is.
Hey, there's dudes at the top, too.
They're coming down at you.
There's dudes at the top, too.
Bobbing and weaving. And it's
there's dudes at the top
it's
trying
like
to shoot
you
you
really
down,
don't
too.
realize how hard it is to be successful. And there's a lot of different formulas, consistently grinding your butt off to be the best version of yourself you can be, outlasting people, figuring it out, finding a way. I think athletes have a great, business savvy mindset of like, I got to find a way. I got to find a tactical approach on how to get my foot in the door or network or be the best version of myself I could possibly be. Especially when you're athletes, like, one thing I preach to like my buddies even, it's like, dude, I don't know how it is, back in Iowa where you're at or here or whatnot, but like, if you want to be part of a business and you go approach them you go put on a decent shirt tucked in with your business degree, shake them, not like a pussy, and look them in the eye and say, sir, I did this, and this. I played college football, NFL football. I know how to be accountable. I know doesn't matter what you have a degree in. I want to help your team win.
Yeah.
You're going to get hired or get the meeting spot for them to help your business, whatever it might be. It's how you carry yourself and utilize the assets you've built. And like, I think it's one thing that I think is cool about the tight end youth thing too, just to like finish up on that, is very few people get opportunity to network with their competition in a friendly manner like that. And like I said, iron sharpens iron. Like that truly is a fucking prime example.
Yeah.
Last thing I want to follow up on though is you wanted to play at Fresno State at one point.
I did.
Dominique, talk to me about it, brother. I'm a fucking dog. Generational, baby.
Like I said, man, coming out of high school.
You know this? Matt, do you know this story?
No.
Yeah.
Man.
This dude's fucking jealous right now, bro. You see that shit? Bulldog born, baby. Generational.
Man. Well, I'm telling you, coming out of high school, seeing, Car and Tate going crazy, and then, recruiting is a monster in itself. Yeah. And then, like, back then...
I'm a white wide receiver, bro. You don't got to tell me.
Dude, coming from Iowa, like, back then, like, it just wasn't heard of.
White wide receivers?
Okay, it's Iowa. It's Iowa, obviously, that's heard of. But
right.
I'm saying, like,
Fresno
recruiting
State.
Was tough.
Yeah.
Like, getting recruited to go places was tough. Like, I remember I went to UCLA camp, went crazy. And there was like, we just don't recruit Iowa. They're like, well, maybe you can move here and go to high school out here. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me do that. Like, to some places, that's like, some people, like, that would be like, okay, yeah, I could do that. And Iowa, like,
do that shit, yeah.
What do you mean? You want me to move all the way out to Cali to play high school, so maybe you recruit me. I'm like, bro, you could just send somebody.
Yeah.
But it was like they literally straight up told me like, yeah, we don't recruit Iowa like that. And like you hear that all the time. It was just like back then they just didn't. Nowadays, you know, we're throwing out 4 stars right now. But it's just like back then they were like, it was unheard of.
Yeah.
It's coming out of Iowa like that. And I remember I got like an email or something from Fresno State, and I was like,
who's the coach?
Dude, I have no idea. This was 2013. I couldn't tell you.
We're same class, so I
10
know
years
his
ago.
recruiting trail.
I do not know. But I got an email, and I started looking him up, and I was like looking up the campus and looking up the field and everything, and I was showing my mom, and I was like,
it's lit, bro.
I'm like,
checkered scoreboard.
This could be dope. You know, obviously my dad grew up in Cali, so like, I was like, you know, I might have to come out there. Never got to, but I was like, I like the way, like,
you
their
want to come
offense
out
was
to
cold.
Fresno, I will host you.
Hey,
Yeah. Mac's coming out, so.
Country Mac don't know what he's doing, man. That's a wild boy. That's a different story, but.
So you almost went to Fresno State. You wanted to.
I wanted to, yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely wanted to. I like their offense. Like you said, the crowd was crazy.
Crowd goes crazy.
And I mean, it's Cali, so it was like getting out of Iowa seemed like that's what we all wanted to do. That was like the high school story. Like, we're gonna grow up, you know, we're gonna graduate from high school, we're gonna go, like, we're gonna move. Like, growing up, and like that was the thing. Like, I had plenty of friends who like tried the LA thing and you know, model and do all this stuff.
Model?
Like, oh yeah. Oh, hey, I'm telling you, man. When you come from Iowa, man, it's like there's so like Iowa slept on, of course. You know, shout out Iowa for real.
It's
but
model country.
I mean, there's some beautiful people out there.
Get the fuck out of here right now.
I mean, you got one sitting right here. Come on, man. But no, I'm serious though. Like, they were like serious about modeling, TV, making music. So like there was like a solid group of people when I graduated who were moving out to Cali, and like hearing about Fresno, I was like, I might have to be one of them ones that come with.
Shit, man.
And like you said, it's a farm country.
Farm country, brother.
What do you think Iowa is? America needs farmers. You feel me?
Cheers to that, brother.
You know what I'm saying?
Cheers
so like,
to that.
I was like, it was. You could ask Lonnie Dafney about it. My beautiful mother. I literally talk to her about it all the time. I'm like, I love Fresno. Like, if I go there, like, that'd be so dope.
So you've never even been?
No.
Dude, I need to have you out to fucking Fresno.
Never.
I'll host you. No, Mac's coming. Seriously, we're having a pickleball tournament or a golf tourney. One of the two is gonna happen.
I'll bring the clubs.
Coors Light will be there.
I'll bring the clubs.
Dominique's coming. You bring the clubs?
I got. Hey.
It's the second annual.
They're in my truck right now.
What's your handy?
Terrible.
Doesn't matter.
It does not matter at all.
For the boys.
I started golfing a year ago.
Me too. Coors Lights. Sponsored by Travis Matthews last year. Huh. Yeah, Mac.
We're there.
Yeah.
Shout out Fresno, man.
Shout out to Fresno. Shout out to 5 from 9.
Hey, we're coming.
Dominique, before I wrap it up, anything you want to say to Bring Deuce Nation, bro? This has been a banger of an episode so far.
No, man. I appreciate you having me on. It was
great vibes.
Great vibes.
Great fucking vibes.
Definitely gonna see you when you come back. I'll pull up to Fresno now.
I'm not joking.
Please believe me, I will.
All right, you heard it here first. You'll see him. Guys, Dominique Dafney, follow his journey. Follow him on all the socials, the gram. See what he does next in the league. See him out at Fresno. He might come into the Bring the Deuce golf tournament. We'll see. I don't know how much of a man of word he is. We'll see. See if he works his handicap. I don't know. But guys, fire me up. Get your piss hot. Another great episode. Subscribe, unsubscribe, resubscribe. Buy your merch. We'll see you next week.